Thokozane everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Gog Matlodi Ingwe Yamabalabala. Be sure to subscribe, like my sessions, and do share your comments so that I can be eager to coming back and sharing the wisdom that my ancestors actually give me. So yes, today my topic for today is mother and daughter relationship. That's a deep one, I know. So yes, mother and daughter relationship is often expected to be one of the best relationship ever, like that best friend type of relationship. But to be quite honest with you, if I were to interview a lot of people, that is the most challenging relationship ever, between a mother and a daughter, because obviously when you grow up, as a young lady, or you're a young child, you start getting to that stage where you also are exposed to being a mother, and you are exposed to also being matured, and now life is changing. But the thing is that most parents tend to forget that when life changes, the child grows. As a child grows, life changes. You must adapt to new changes of the way things happen. Now she's 30, you have to start acting like she's 30. Start speaking to her in a matured manner. You start treating her in a different way, not the way that you used to treat her when she was younger than 30. So yes, well, yeah, I've come across so many young ladies that we have shared about the relationship of a mother and daughter, and wow, it really touched me at some point. Yeah, and some of the experiences I've also come across, and yes, this is life. But anyway, mother and daughter relationship is an unplanned relationship. Trust me. One thing, you are close to your mother because you're not dating there. You're close to your mother, and the next thing you're dating, and you're obviously things are changing. You're not that close anymore. Now that there's another third person, you have to accommodate this person. So yes, well, most relationships with mother and daughters do break in between, mainly because I think it's because mothers tend to forget that as much as we are young mothers, yes, we should have taken those precautionary measures of using protection or preventing, but a child is a child. It comes as God plans or ancestors plans, but most mothers tend to forget that as much as we are still mothers, we are still young as mothers, and we do want to socialize at times. You want to go out with your friends. I'm not saying it's a frequent thing. You want to sometimes go out for drinks. You have to, or sometimes you're in a relationship, you sometimes need time for your bae, but most mothers find it so difficult to actually allow their daughters to become those young mothers that are still mothers, but yet still young to go out. Instead, most mothers, what they do, and which I feel is so unfair, they tend to actually now imprison you with the fact that now you're a mother, like your life is now put on a standstill. No, life shouldn't be like that, because the minute you start making the child feel like that, then you are starting to actually overwhelm that child to embrace motherhood. Instead of me embracing motherhood, I will fail to be able to embrace motherhood, mainly because of I'm in a shell or in a box that I cannot move from. I cannot become myself. And I think that's why also most women, also young ladies, they get children and they do become depressed through their maternity leaves, or through motherhood as a whole, you tend to become depressed because now you can't move, you can't become yourself, you can't go out with your friends anymore, you can't date anymore, everything is just about this child. I'm not saying that we as young ladies, we should neglect the fact that we are mothers, but I am saying, mothers, please allow your kids to also become those young mothers who also go out to socialize, just to get that fresh air, just for her to be motivated, when she sees her, maybe the friends, when the lives of friends changes, as life just turns around and becomes something different, somehow you become motivated about something, you're starting to pull up your socks and saying to yourself, you know what, I need to pick up my socks now. I'm a mother, I have to work hard for my child. You start becoming motivated. But the minute this child is only limited to stay home and just grow the child, then you somehow put this child in a depressive mode, where this child will now end up, the real character of this child will actually die, or the joy and the peace, the sense of peace in this child will just dim off, because now you have turned her into something else. So most mothers, again, most parents actually, or mothers, yes, they tend to also forget that we do not plan how life should be, and a child grows from being 3 years to 30 years to 40 years to even 50 years, and you have to adapt to the changes of life. But most parents are so trapped, or most mothers are so trapped in thinking you are still that 3-year-old, that you need to be told what to do. No, why don't you do your hair like this? Why don't you? It's advice, yes, but sometimes like you just have to allow your child to be what they want to be, so that you can see this young lady that you have brought up, what is she capable of, because the minute you start limiting her to being what she wants to be, then you are somehow also shutting down the door of seeing the potential in this child. Another thing again is that mother and daughter relationship also tends to be hard, because you find that most mothers or parents have had a bad experience in maybe marriage, or maybe in relationships as they grew up, and now they are trying to protect you, but it's so impossible to protect a child from life, because life has to happen the way that it should, that you end up having high expectations as a mother to a child. You have already planned that I want my child to be a doctor after this and that, but you find that the plan or the chart that you have started to jot down the dots on it's not coming together as you had planned, and now you start becoming frustrated, and you start frustrating the child. You start to frustrate your daughter, and that's when the relationship starts to break down. Mother and daughter relationship is the most easiest relationship when your mother is so supportive to you. When she supports, I'm not saying she should support even the wrong things that you do. Share advice if you need to share advice as a mother, but don't be too hard on your child. Allow your child to live, so that life can curve that child. And even if she hit brick falls, and even if life turns into another chapter, that you never expected her to be in, allow her to be, so that tomorrow she can understand what wisdom is, so that she can become that matured woman one day that you will be proud of saying, yeah, my daughter has really grown up. But now the minute you try to spoon feed this child in everything that she does, then you are starting to actually create, a child who actually lives in your life, not her life. So yes, those are the little things that I would like to share about mother and daughter relationship. Maybe one day I'll do part two, because sometimes some information tends to come back, or come after a shoot. So I will try to search a bit of, again, mother and daughter relationships that, maybe most mothers should improve on. Mothers should also improve on the fact that you should also encourage yourself and your child to have that bond by going out for, like, even if it's coffee, even if it's shopping together, just not judging anything, allowing her to tell you anything and everything. Don't judge. I know we are human beings and we will judge at some point, but do not judge. Allow her to just speak her mind and give advice when you need to give advice, but do not become unnecessary as a mother, because I've also realized that some mothers tend to also bully their kids. They bully their kids and they are not even aware that they are bullying their kids. You actually want this child to live, the life that you imagined to live. And that is so impossible, because as much as I'm a daughter to you and you're a mother to me, we have different ways of thinking and we have different experiences of life. Even if we shared one umbilical cord, but I am saying that we are different. Yes, we can be, we can have a bit of the same characters there and there, but we are different. Mother and daughter relationship should be the best relationship. Having a best friend that even if you tell the deepest secrets, she will never even open her mouth. She will die with that secret. But instead, most mothers they don't understand the relationship with their daughters, and that is the most painful experience ever, when people are able to tell you, yo, you have such a kind child, but yet when it comes to you, you're thinking, kind? You have not seen her. Yes, you can't see that kindness in her, because maybe you do not give that child that space to actually show you that, mama, I'm capable of this. This is me. But instead, you've imagined her to be what you want her to be. So you're actually controlling this child to be what you want. Just like the way you change your TV programs, that is how you want your child to live. But you tend to forget that one day, only God knows who will pass on between you and the child first. If it's the mother that passes on, then you have somehow left this child in a space where she doesn't now know where to go from where she is or what to do, because she is so used to this person who always thinks for her. She doesn't become proactive, she doesn't become matured easily. She's not exposed to a lot of things easily, because mainly you are crushing her, you are killing her inside. And emotions are so important, because sometimes mothers tend to ask themselves why every time you try to have a relationship or try to speak to your child, but this child always responds in an aggressive mode, and then you ask yourself, but why does she answer me this way? There are some things that kids or young ladies are keeping inside, and it's so unfair as a young mother to go through a phase where you are punished for your baby daddy leaving you with a child. Some things really need to change in life. Mothers need to loosen up a bit and allow life to be the way it is. We can't force life to be the way that we want it to be. So yes, That is my topic for today, coming from Abu Gogo. I hope I have opened someone's eyes and ears, and I pray that, there is a little change through my videos. Be sure to subscribe and like, share your comments so that I can be eager to coming back and sharing more of the wisdom that my ancestors have chosen me to speak about. Thokozane. Until we meet again.